one of the preachers at the Church of the Nazarene here. I think his name is, I'm going to say Gary or Greg. I'm not for certain. He was telling me there was a woman about his height. He looks to be about 5'7", 5'8". He's about my height, just a little shorter. Apparently she has dark hair, and it's about shoulder length, or about to the top of her shoulders. And he said I spoke about her on my channel, or he believes I spoke with her on my channel and spoke with her at one of these feeds. So what I'm looking for here, I'm going to try to make this short. If you guys can go through some of my videos, they, I believe, feed people Saturday and Sunday, but he was saying that it was at one of the other places where they feed. So that might be the Seventh-day Adventist, or possibly the First Christian Church. So I'm not exactly sure. He said she was a younger person. I'm not sure if that's like really super young, like, 18, 19, or if it's, just under 30 years old, because this guy's older than me. And I know that when I see somebody who's 30 or younger, I have difficulties telling if they're in high school still or not. Like, they all look pretty young to me. Anyway, he was saying, sorry, connection issues. The way this preacher feller was trying to explain it, though, I was apparently speaking with her, and, that definitely is a possibility. I speak with a lot of people at the feeds. It's important to know about the terrain that you're in. And of course, you got to understand the political climate of the area. Anyway, there's a woman named Barisa who I met, and she's not it. Hers goes down past her shoulders, goes down to about, her hair goes down to about the bottom of her shoulder blades. I know there's another lady that I met, God, what is her name? I'm going to have to go back through my videos and see it. Oh, God, I wish I could remember her name off the top of my head. That's one of the problems with having so many people that you got to try to remember. There's just too many. And that means I do have to have access to the information right in front of me as I'm writing down the information, as I'm writing the story, as I'm making a report, any of that. I have to have the information in front of me. By depriving me of the resources to be able to do that, to deprive me of the resources to sit down and just do what I need to do to defend myself. It's impossible without assistance. It's impossible when they keep on taking away your ability to utilize any of your resources. I want the abuse to stop. I also want people to be safe. Casey might have been the name of the girl who was with Robert First. Something starts with an F. Was her name Casey, maybe? That would have been at the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Anyway, I would have liked to get more information from him about her, and possibly even a picture of her, but without a last name or a better description. I don't know. If you guys could go back through, it would have been within probably the last week, I think. Within the last 2 weeks, actually. Um, and I know there's a lot of videos, but it's too much for me to go through alone. And if it's got her on there and I'm able to hear her voice or hear the conversation that we had, then that might actually be able to help me to pinpoint who it is exactly. See, one of the things about meeting so many different people and having to move all the time, you're constantly meeting new people. Trying to remember everybody's name in a situation like that is damn near impossible. Compounded by the fact that I'm having a severe panic attack at all points in time. And I have to try to communicate effectively. And I have to try to control my Tourette's so I don't get treated like a druggie. And I have to try to hide autism so I don't get treated like I'm retarded. Meanwhile, I'm about sick of the word retarded. I'm sick of it being used to describe people with Down syndrome. Especially since the last I checked, the second smartest man on the planet was a Russian with Down syndrome. So, yeah, obviously Down syndrome doesn't mean retarded. Although that's what they tried to label it as when I was younger. That's because the term mongoloid was offensive. The term mongoloid was offensive, and kids were running around calling each other mongoloids on the playground, and it became politically incorrect. So they changed the word to retarded, because retarded means slowed down. For many of these people, the issue is the same as with people who stutter. Somebody who has Down syndrome may have a brain that works extremely fast. Works too fast, matter of fact. Not too fast for their processes to be effective, but too fast for their mouth. We've also got people with cerebral palsy. That's a breakdown of of all the connections between your brain and the rest of your body, and that includes your mouth. There's a lot of people I know who are highly intelligent who have a slight speech impediment, or maybe they just speak too nasally. And a lot of those people, despite their intelligence quotient, are treated like they're dummies. It's much like giving somebody a southern accent. If you give them a southern accent and a speech impediment, they seem twice as dumb, even if they got an IQ of 172. That is some nasty coffee, but it's better than nothing. Anyway, if y'all could help me by going through my videos, if you're able to find one with a Casey in it, a female Casey, not the male Casey, please tag me and let me know. I'd like to help this preacher feller out, and if I can pinpoint who the person is based on their voice or the location that I was at when it happened, that might make it easier. Oh my God. There's also the possibility that it was somebody who came up and was talking to me and they didn't give their name, so the preacher guy, being as he knows her, he would know her name. That doesn't mean that I would. Anyway, like I said, I got a lot to remember. I don't remember the name of every single person I meet. Either I use it or I lose it. When it comes to our rights, the one group that I wholeheartedly expect to stand up for our rights are the churches. This is the one singular group that if I were to believe the New Testament, these people would be helping us. Not with tokens. Food is a temporary band-aid. A temporary band-aid until you can get a leg up. Until you can work your way out. With our economy, you can't work your way out of this. You cannot do it. So you victimize us because we're not able to get out of it. If we were to work together, yes, we could very well make a difference. But you get to see in my situation how very selfish people on the streets and people in houses can truly be. You guys want to separate it into housies and homeless. Well, because you separated it that way, so do we. We know where the line was drawn. Where you drew the line in the sand and said these people are human and these ones are not. You drew that line in the sand and you pushed broke people, especially the homeless. You push them onto the other side of the line and you say, you stay over there, motherfuckers. And every time we try to approach the line, we try to get up and out. You shove us back over. You tell us that we wanted it, needed it, chose it, and deserved it. That's the problem with these mandated reporters. They know exactly what they're doing. They know that it's wrong. They know it's illegal. They know it's immoral. And you help them to get away with it. Now, hearing about this Casey lady going missing, there's also the fact that I haven't heard from Barisa since the day that she offered me condoms. Anyway, I got a lot of crimes I need to turn in. 6 years worth. About 6 years worth of people taking advantage of me, lying to me, cheating, doing horrible shit to me that I don't have the ability to defend myself against because of labels that are immoral. To call somebody mentally ill is to call them disabled. And if they are disabled, if they are so disabled that they are quote-unquote mentally ill, then they should be afforded the rights of someone who is disabled, instead of having those rights denied, as well as their rights as a human being denied, by calling them mentally ill. Anyway, anybody here in Tillamook who knows a Casey who's on the streets, one of the preacher fellers who's over at the, he serves the meals. He goes to the First Christian Church, as well as the Church of the Nazarene, as well as the Seventh-day Adventist. I believe his name is Gary. I am not for certain about that. But I know that he's looking for her, and he said that she's been missing for a few days. If I spoke with her, I hope it's on my channel. If not, it's probably on my audio recording device. It's not coming to me who it would be. So, I guess that's it. Anybody in Tillamook, not that anybody in Tillamook's going to look at this, but there's a young lady named Casey. She's got about shoulder-length hair, I guess, almost down to her shoulders from the way that he was doing it with his hands. He was doing this about like right here. He said she had dark hair. I don't know if it was wavy or if it was straight. Um, he said she's not fat. She's skinny, but she's not scrawny. I don't know what else. Anyway, if you guys could go through my channel, I know it's not likely, but it is a possibility. So, being as it is a possibility, I hope you'll help look. I know it seems like it's not that big major of a deal, but if you guys notice with Natalie Bollinger, when she went missing, everybody treated me like it wasn't a big major deal. Meanwhile, I had to try to find some way to get those people to help me to turn it in. I had to find some way of making it so that people could keep their word. With them not coming forward about the things that they told me and the decisions that I made based on what they told me. Well, here's the thing. If the things they told me were true, they need to speak out in court. If the things that they told me were not true, they need to go to jail or prison. I am autistic. Autism is a developmental disability, primarily because of PTSD. The reason that the United States does not produce autistic people who don't exhibit signs of trauma is because the United States does not produce autistic people who are not traumatized. For many of us, we should have been diagnosed with PTSD along with our diagnosis of autism. However, for people like me, I got my first diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder when I was 9, I guess. Probably should have had it earlier than that, though. And of course, repeatedly after that. That's one of the things about being abused in the way that I was. You're not heard, especially if you're a male. The Casey who's a male that I know here is less than 50 feet from me. I know that he's just fine. He is taking a nap. So I guess if anybody can help reach out to Brisa and let her know I'm hoping she's all right, and also reach out to Casey and let her know that the preacher who's at all the meals, the older feller with the glasses, is trying to find her and he's worried about her. All right, good to be with you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper and no victim left behind.